Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Small Brain Gang, where we do only small brain things. And this is the Small Brain Podcast. Welcome back, everyone. We are your hosts today. My name is Ronan Maverick, and today I have my co-host, Luke Nero. Say hi to everyone, Luke.
How's it going, everybody?
And today we have a very important topic to discuss today, and that topic would be viewer fluctuation. What does viewer fluctuation mean?
Yeah, so viewer fluctuation happens to most every single streamer, and that's just where you have numbers that you don't usually have. It can be a positive thing and a negative thing. So you could have normally averaging 5 to 10 viewers, and then all of a sudden you're averaging, 25 to 30 viewers for a hot minute there, and then all of a sudden, drops back down to your normal average. Or what's the most common way to see it, or at least the one that's more noticeable because it's a negative, is viewer fluctuation the other way, where you have 5, 10 viewers in your chat, and then all of a sudden for a week or two, you're down to like 2, 3, something like that. And it's a little bit discouraging. It's a topic that we haven't really heard many streamers talk about. So we were just wanting to address that now, and just what our dumb little advice is. Ronan, we have dealt with this issue actually relatively recently.
Yes, 100%. We deal with viewer fluctuation pretty much on a constant basis. Where I average about, 5 to 10 viewers any given stream, but then there'll be stints where it's like I have 1 to 2 viewers, and then I'm like, oh wait, what am I doing wrong? Like, what happened? What did I change? Is my content different? Like, what happened that I lost viewers?
Yeah, and that is the very first topic of this discussion. Is many people automatically go to blaming themselves for making bad content, being a boring streamer, and so on, which me and Ronan, again, we have discussed many a time. Where we're having a Flux week, we just talk to each other and we're like, man, I just feel like I'm doing something wrong. But it's not always your fault. Sometimes it can be. If you're having a few streams where you're a little bit off, that might drop off some viewers, and that's fine. There's a few things that may affect viewership that could be pertain to you. Like for me personally, I rebranded recently. Went from Darth Ninja 501st to Luke Nero because I'm scared of Disney. Because that's fair. And when that happened to me, I went from averaging about 15 to 20-ish people, and now I'm averaging around, I said, 5 to 10 to 15. I'm kind of median around 8 people per stream, which is cutting my stream average in half. And that's my fault for rebranding, but it is a positive thing for moving into the future for not running into copyright issues later.
And rebranding is like one of like the kind of unicorns when it comes to viewer fluctuation, because it's a big change that you as a streamer decide to do. So that's not it's a very hard punch to your viewer fluctuation, because a lot of people that watch you at this name aren't going to know who you are when you go live. But there are a lot of smaller scale reasons that can cause viewer fluctuation, such as what game you're streaming.
Yeah, depending on what game you're streaming, because I ran into this same problem where I was a exclusive Minecraft streamer. I built a community off of Minecraft streaming because, let's admit it, it's one of the greatest games out there. I personally love the game to death. And then I switched up games because I also loved Apex. I just usually played it off stream with my friends. Started playing Apex on stream, and Rage Packs. People who are usually coming to see me play Minecraft were like, we don't really like Apex, and they kind of drifted away. They'll show back up to support, but if you have built a community off of one game, switching games can really cause that to be lowered. But then again, they'll come back, because one topic that we will try to instill in you is that you are the content. The game you're playing is not the content. You want to be content. I can't speak. Have you tried English? It's hard. You want to be the content they come to see over the game. And so the game you stream could be ineffective. If it's an oversaturated game, some people might not want to necessarily enjoy it, where on the opposite side, if it's a new game that just came out, you might get a flux because you're streaming a game that no one's seen before. Other things you got to look out for that's not necessarily your fault is the day of the week you're streaming, because I've noticed that Mondays through Thursday are my lower average days compared to Friday through Saturday. It makes sense. Weekends, school's out, work's out. But when I first started streaming and I started noticing my Flux days were a little bit lower on those days, I didn't equate it to, school and work.
Right, and that comes down to a lot of times with streamers, it's kind of hard to, like, once you hit that start streaming button and you go live, you absolutely completely forget about the world outside of your stream right now, because that's why you're there. We forget that, there's life outside of streaming. People have jobs, people have school, people have families, people have, just day-to-day life. So they might not be able to come and watch you, every time you go live.
That's for sure. I know that there's a few people who have been extremely consistent in our streams, and we notice their absence so much harder when we're like, oh, this one person who's usually always here isn't here this time. And they're like, oh, that's weird. And then we message them like, hey, just want to make sure you're okay and everything. We're not checking up on them because we're like, oh, they didn't show up to my stream, because we're genuinely concerned because, they just didn't show up. And they're like, oh, yeah, I just had a family thing.
Right. And Luke, you just finished school. In biology.
Yeah. I just got my bachelor's degree in biology, 7 years of school. I'm very excited, very, very excited to finally be done. Only took me so long. Well, for one, I was working full time and have 3 kids. But another reason is that my university that I went to decided to have me redo my entire associates, which was kind of not fun. And then near the end of it, when I'm like, hey, this is my last semester, I'm graduating, they're like, oh, sorry, we messed up your paperwork. You still have 1 credit left, but that credit's not offered in the fall, so you have to do it in the spring.
So while you were in school, even as a streamer, you felt that, life kind of not got in the way, but was a big impact on your streaming schedule because, you had school, 3 kids, wife, family. During your school, you weren't able to stream as much. And that same thing happens to viewers as well, especially during the school years. And I know midterms are a big thing. They just have a life outside where they're like, I have to grind, I have to do this. They just don't have time to come into your stream all the time.
100%. Because I especially noticed it this last year where I was doing my last semester. I noticed that I had a really low viewership during March and May. And I was trying to figure out why my viewership was low. But also during March and May, I had finals and midterms. And so I was actually streaming less too because I was just stressed out of my gourd trying to cram. So there's certain things like that, even some other things like events, like certain holidays in different countries. There are people we have in our community, the Small Brain Gang, the best gang in the world, that are from Australia. There are some from Europe. We have one from Africa that's pretty cool, and a couple from Canada, but we don't mention them.
We can forgive them for now.
We can forgive them. They're pretty cool. They have different holidays than we do. Apparently, did you know that America is not the standard for holidays in the world? Go figure. So.
What?
Yeah, I was shocked when I found out. So
that's bananas.
They have different holidays too. So there are so many factors that contribute to a low Flux day, and rarely is it because of you. And that's one thing we want to encourage you as a streamer. Doesn't matter your size, because big, small, streaming Flux happens to everyone. And it's not always because of something you've done. And I know how mentally taxing streaming is. I mean, me and Ronan, I don't think we both would be where we're at today if we didn't have each other and the strong group we have in the Small Brain Gang to be honest and be like, I am struggling with depression and anxiety, and it's coming from streaming. It's coming from this expectation that I need to play these games that I don't enjoy playing. It's coming from this expectation of being on days when I really just need to spend time with my wife and kids. Things that we don't hear many streaming podcasts talk about, and that's just why we're just trying to bring it up today on specifically viewer fluctuation and how mentally it can impact you. And one of those mental things is just, oh, it's all my fault, which is not always.
Right. And back to what you were saying earlier about how viewer flux happens to every streamer of any size, small, large, partner, affiliate, it doesn't matter. It happens to everybody. And that comes down to viewer flux just is part of the streaming industry. It's just part of the game. Like, no matter how big you get or how successful you think you are, it's going to happen one way or the other. And the biggest part of dealing with it, I think, is, and I'm not one to do this because I don't understand it, is trying to understand the meta and the algorithm to whatever streaming service you use personally is just understanding the algorithm.
Yeah. And actually, I just found out today, which is a good thing, something to inform you of this, the algorithm has officially changed on Twitch. The meta before was that things like moderators, raids never counted towards your average. So people
raids never added to your
not
viewership?
unless the people in the raid clicked on your link and were on your channel. They were in a different category and didn't count as a full view. That's why if you get a raid of like such a huge raid, it didn't count as a full view. And to count
that makes so much sense.
To count as a full view, you also had to type something. So they had different weights depending on if you were just lurking in someone's raid, or if you're lurking on multiple raids or multiple different streams, and if you chatted or not. They took an activity behind that, but they just changed that today. I just heard it from, it's actually from a TikTok, so take this with a grain of salt, but it was a partner on TikTok.
So is with that new information, is that going to change the affiliate grind, as we like to call it? Is that going to change the stats that you need to achieve in order to get affiliate?
It's not changing any stats because that was the old algorithm. The new algorithm is everything counts. If you are in a raid and lurking, they count now. Moderators count now. You can now have an infinite amount of... You can now lurk on an infinite amount of streams with the sound off and it still count. Oh, by the way, if you ever lurked on someone's stream and turned the sound off, it also didn't count. By the way, things like that used to be a huge part of it. But now the meta has changed where you can have people lurking. So when you get rated by a partner with 75 people, now it's going to be so much more weight than it used to be. And this is what we're talking about on you trying to understand the meta and where things are. This is a brand new change that released, I believe, today.
Yeah, this is all brand new news to me. And like I said, I don't understand algorithms and like how that stuff works all too well. I just know like, hey, I have viewers on my channel. My stats should be going up. That's cool. Whatever. Or I don't have any viewers and my stats are going to drop. Like, that's whatever. But this new algorithm that you're describing sounds absolutely fucking amazing. That was the big thing, was like, you know, because we like to help people hit affiliate who like just start streaming. It's not something like we push to do. We just like to show support to our community members. And the biggest thing is like when you go to lurk in someone's channel, you had to leave the audio just up just a little bit so it didn't so it counted as a view. Yeah. And so this whole new algorithm thing is absolutely amazing.
Which is why anytime I raided, I always ask people to click into their video and I ask them to type a raid command, like the SBG raid or SBG hype, because in doing so, they count it as a full view. And even if they type once and then lurk the rest of the time, they're a view. And so I always tell people in my chat, hey, make sure you click over to their video and then we're spamming this. We're spamming SBG raid, you know? And so I always did that to not just kind of subtly say, hey, we're going to support them with actual views, because when some people raid, it's like, oh, you have 75 people who just rated you and no one says anything. You're like, oh, none of those are going to count. Or they're not going to count as a full view, I should say. There's a whole formula out there I saw once about how much of a view each thing costs. It was weird. I didn't understand it. But now it's really simple, which is also why I encourage you not to have too many moderators when you are starting off streaming, because mods don't count as a full view.
That was a big thing. I've actually unmodded some of my mods because they didn't count as a full view.
Oh, right. Yeah, and that's that new algorithm is great.
All right. Next question we have is, what should you do when viewer flux happens to you? There's a lot of different things you can do. Starting off, first thing is don't get discouraged when your viewer count drops low. When your viewers are low, don't get discouraged. That's the biggest thing I can enforce on you, because it's not you. It could be any number of variables.
Yeah, we do say don't get discouraged. As I mentioned before, we don't take our advice always at the same time. It's hard to not get discouraged. But we do encourage you not to be, because it's not always your fault.
Exactly. And the biggest thing to help with that is play a game that you enjoy playing. Don't like, yeah, you can understand the algorithm or, you can go look up like what games do I play in order to get high viewer counts. But if you're not going to enjoy the game that you're playing on stream, then honestly, I don't think it's going to help your viewer count because like we said before, you are you are the content. So if you're playing a game that you're not having fun with, your content's going to be kind of down in the dumps.
Yeah, and there's a huge difference between viewer count and retention rate. So if you're not playing a game that you really enjoy and you get one or two extra views, but they don't stick around on the long term because you're not that interesting or you're not having fun, you would rather have the retention of people there than the views in the short term.
Right, and we'll talk about viewer retention and viewer returns later on. Um, Another thing when your flux happens to you is you don't have to stream all the time. You don't have to stream 7 days a week. In fact, we encourage you not to because it is physically draining. Like streaming is exhausting. It may be a hobby. It may be super fun when you have your community members or your buddies or your families come in and play on your stream, but it is exhausting. Every streamer, after they hit stop streaming for a 3 to 4, 6, 10 hour stream, doesn't matter. You're exhausted afterwards. So don't stream all the time. And mainly because that's going to help your viewer stats stay kind of average. So you're not streaming for one person for 10 hours. And that really just tanks your
And that's a especially really good advice for people who are pre-affiliate. We are kind of doing both topics right here, but if you're pre-affiliate, streaming all the time is just going to hurt your number, as we've experienced with. I personally saw with Ronan. Fortunately for me, I was over on Mixer. I had 1,000 followers over there and was like doing 20 to 30 people average. When I moved over to Twitch, I made affiliate first week. I didn't have to experience Twitch grind to affiliate. I didn't appreciate it. But when I was working with Ronan, I saw his grind to affiliate. I saw how hard it was. And one of the things is, if you're streaming 6-10 hours a day, every day to 2 people, and then at the very end, the 30th day of your stretch, you get a raid with 100 people, your stats are not going to raise that much. You're going to go from an average of 1 to maybe 1.9.
Yeah, it doesn't even make a dent. That rate of 100 viewers doesn't make a dent for your 30-day average. It's quite appalling, honestly, because you feel so great. You feel amazing. You're like your energy is so hyped after you get that raid. And then after you're done streaming and you look at your stats the next day after they've updated and you gained 0.5 average,
Yeah.
it's so discouraging and so heartbreaking that it honestly can kill streamers.
It really can. And I've seen it happen. And with, like, especially with Ronan, like, as he said, streaming takes so much energy. Why waste it streaming every day to 1 to 2 viewers? Take that energy, stream less, take that energy to promote yourself more, which Ronan will talk about here.
Right, which is our next thing is we have a system, and I'm sure a lot of streamers talk about it. It's the 2/3 work off stream, 1/3 work streaming. And what that means is take those 7 days that you were just pumping out streams every day, maybe stream 3 of those days, stream 2 of those days, and then use those other days that you're taking off to work on your stream, work on your content. There's so many things you can do. Going to other channels and just hanging out, which is a big thing in networking, which we'll talk about later. Design yourself a logo, draw up a logo, even if it's just a colored pencil drawing you did on a notepad and you took a picture of it and then you upload it as your logo. That's fine to start off with. Just do things off stream that will also help improve your stream, improve your content. Go back and watch your VODs. Look at how you presented yourself. Look at how you did your gameplay, how you did your communication to chat, all those things. Just work offline on your stream. And the next one I'm going to give to Luke because I'm going to admit I'm not the best at it. I'm actually quite horrible at it. So Luke, you take this one.
Right before we jump off to the next topic, I also want to put in that with the 2/3 off stream, like, you want to make yourself really known. Because if you want to grow on Twitch, don't stream on Twitch. And that seems counterproductive. If you're having a low flux day, do something else. Me and Ronan, we had, for the past 2 weeks, we've had a low flux weeks. we were very hard pressed, and we were getting to that point where we're like, maybe I should take a month off or just stop completely. And then, boom, we're doing a freaking podcast. Why? Well, there's a few reasons why. For one thing, we just enjoy hanging out with each other. We feel like we have really good chemistry with each other. And two, we're taking our own advice of doing 2/3 off stream. We are having another channel of discoverability. If our podcast is seen by 10 people per month, compared to trying to get 10 people to see you on Twitch, that's already taking our efforts that we would be using for streaming and putting it towards our future stream. Taking TikToks is especially, which I'll talk about here soon. If you can get someone to see your TikTok, 50 people to see your TikTok, that's low numbers on TikTok. You've had 50 people who have seen your face, and that's 50 times more than what you can hope for on one stream on Twitch when you're not one of the big names. If you have 10 people in your chat, you're still on page 15 of Apex lobbies, you know? It's a good way to, when you have Flux days, to take that time off stream, improve your stream, and get yourself known.
Right. I'd say that's one of the bigger challenges of streaming, is just getting your name out there and getting yourself known to other communities, not just one community, other. I've got like our community, the Small Brain Gang, which is my baby. I love it. But I also have probably 10, 12, 20 different communities that I'm a part of that I just go and hang out with. The next thing, we kind of touched base on raids a little bit earlier, but the biggest thing is when you do get raided, I don't care if it's one person hosting you on their channel or if you get raided by 100, 200, 500 people. Engage with that raid. Engage with the viewers that person's bringing over. Like I said, I don't care if it's 2 or 200. Engage with them and make sure you ask the raider, or you engage with the raider and say, hey, thanks for the raid, man. How was your stream? What games were you playing? Just engage with the raid chat.
Also, for sure, like when you are having a low Flux week and you're like, I only have 3 people like that, I'm not going to raid someone with 3 people. We highly encourage you to always raid people with the same number of viewers you have. Doubling someone's stream, Ronan, what's happened when your stream has been doubled in viewers?
Dude, it is, I gotta say, because it's happened to me. I had 2 viewers and someone came in with another 2 viewers from their channel, and it's such a hype and so encouraging that like the past week of low viewership, that one raid comes in, oh my goodness, you're just so stoked and so happy that I forget about the game and I just engage with the raid for 5 minutes. So doubling someone's stream, especially at low numbers, taking someone from 2 viewers to 4 viewers, or 2 viewers to 5 viewers, or taking, just doubling, making that number jump, it just makes a streamer's day. There's nothing that can be compared to it.
And you end up getting your name out there. We're not encouraging you to self-promote in other people's streams. Exact opposite. But at the same time, when you do raid someone, if I were to raid someone like, I don't know, Mr. Joker, he's a guy who's pushing for a partner, and he has 70 people in his chat, and I come in with my 4, he's going to notice and be appreciative, but at the same time, I haven't really affected much of the stream. But when you double someone's stream, that streamer like feels honored, because it is an honor, and that streamer then recognizes you. He might be like, hey, yeah, we should play sometime. And they're way more open to the idea of networking. They want that relationship with another streamer. They want that connection to other streamers. And so that's a way to get your foot in the door with someone else, to communicate with them, build a community. As I said, we have a community of streamers and non-streamers. And a lot of our streamers in there we have met through this tactic, like Elena Libra. Ronan rated her.
I love Elena.
Elena is great. Ronan rated her, and then she was very appreciative, and then she ended up joining our Discord, and then later ended up rating me, and that's how I met her. And then now she's like one of the pivotal parts of our group. Like, we have so many pivotal parts, but she's over in Germany, other side of the freaking world from us.
Yeah, sadly we don't get to hang out with her much.
Yeah, because usually when we're streaming, it's like 6 a.m. her time. But
yeah, exactly.
There is some overlap sometimes. But the great part is we now have a full-fledged relationship with someone in Germany. And that's what networking is just relationships, which we'll talk about more in-depth networking on another stream. So, but how can you encourage returnability. And that's a huge thing, because when you're trying to work on low flux days, one thing you got to be thinking about is off days and everything like that, but you also got to be thinking about improving your stream, improving your personality, improving yourself to encourage people to come back. You want to be genuine. I can't encourage enough that I don't like over-the-top streams. I know people enjoy that sometimes, and there's a certain class of people who enjoy that. But when someone's just like, oh my gosh, I don't know. For me, I'm like, I just would rather get to know you over this act you're putting on. Which, if you even look at like the big YouTubers, I feel like I know them now. They started off as this hyper group, Jacksepticeye, unrelatable hyper Irishman, to now pretty relatable hyper Irishman. Let's be real. He's still hyper. But you want to be genuine. But if you are over the top, stay true to yourself. Don't be quiet because you feel like you might be annoying. People want the real you.
Exactly. And I just want to touch base on that. The biggest thing about streaming is just be yourself. If you're that over the top, energetic, super hyped dude all the time and you just can't get enough of your chat, be that guy. That's fine. Or if you're like other streamers like Luke's pretty tame, honestly. I'll say that. He laughs a lot, but he's pretty tame. He's not that over. He's just himself, and he's just chill and just streams and has fun.
I would say I'm chill, but I also have fun. I'm not over the top though.
Right, that's
like,
what I mean.
Every stream is us laughing, and that's what I enjoy.
Uncontrollably.
Oh my gosh, uncontrollably laughing every stream, but I feel like it's a genuine, like, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I just don't like fake people. So I'm like, if I'm gonna be happy, I'm just gonna be happy, and if I'm not personally having a great day, I'm gonna try to be happy, but I'm gonna be me. And Ronan, he's a great example of it too. Ronan is a very chill, very wholesome streamer. Until we start losing an Apex.
I was gonna say until we start losing an Apex, and that's why I call it Rage Packs, because I'm like so chill for the longest time, and then we've lost 15
fucking game.
Yeah, we just lose 15 games in a row, and I'm like, God damn it! I just want to be better. I just want to be good at this game. And it's so I get a little hyped when I get ragey, but it's all in fun.
Yeah, and it's all in fun, and that's the main thing. If you're gonna rage, don't be an asshole. Be like Ronan, where it's all in fun. And plus, now I've gotten used to it to the point where I've kind of developed a troll personality when it comes to Ronan's raging. I'm like, well, dude, why don't you just get good? You could have shot him and killed him, like just
aim for heads. Just click on heads. It's fine.
Hey, Ronan, did you know that if you deplete their health to 0 before your health goes to 0, you win most firefights?
Most, yeah, but I lose every firefight.
And in the SBG, in the Small Brain Gang, we don't care if we win, lose, tie. We just want to have fun, but at the same time, winning is kind of really fun. Yeah, so back to encouraging returnability. If you're going to be going out and going on to different platforms, it is very difficult to get people from TikTok to Twitch. I know this personally. I have 400 followers on Twitch, and I average 5 to 15 viewers depending on the day of the week, averaging around 8, I think. But I have 33,000 followers on TikTok.
Weird flex, but all right.
Well, I mean, yeah. But it's so hard to get people from TikTok to Twitch. And I've been trying to, but one thing I got some advice from a guy, One Hit Wonder. He's over on TikTok and Twitch. You guys should check him out. He said, oh, no, you can't get people from TikTok to Twitch. But you can get people from TikTok to Discord. You want to have a home base. Have a home base. We personally use Gilded, which we will have a full stream on Gilded because it's so amazing. Have a home base where you can have your communities that you've built all over the place. If you have people who follow you on Instagram, because you post beautiful model pictures, which I don't have a model's body, but if you have that community there and a community over on TikTok and a community over on Facebook, have a place where they all can get together on Discord and then from there encourage Twitch.
So back to Gilded, you did mention it is our main home base now. We did the move when it first came out, and it's still in beta, so there's still some things that they're working on, and we're like, okay, that's cool. We'll stick around with you guys, but this is our first video chat.
Yeah.
With audio Like this is a new thing they just did, right? Where you can be in a video FaceTime and have audio.
Yeah, because it still is in like pre-alpha. I think it's not fully released yet, so they're updating it every day. But there is no delay, and that's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's crazy.
There
Like we
is
tested
no
it
delay.
earlier with like counting and then clapping on time, and the video chat is spot on.
And we'll mention this again. We'll do a full stream or a full podcast on Gilded, but like now you can do that most annoying thing where if one person starts singing when you're streaming, you can sing along with them and it not be that weird like because you're trying to find the right timing to sing with them and not sound double. But yeah, just Gilded is our home base. Discord can be yours. You can even have like Twitter be your home base where you're like, hey, everyone follow my Twitter so I do updates and stuff. Have a place where you can promote your stream, where people from different communities that you've built can get together. And that's really, when you're spending all your 2/3 time out of Twitch, make sure you're doing it in a way to get noticed, get your name out there, to get recognized. Be annoying on TikTok. I posted 2 or 3 videos a day, and I grew extremely fast because, as I said, flipping to your For You page, you can get hundreds and thousands, and I've gotten millions of views on videos before. You can't get those numbers on Twitch. You can't grow on Twitch by streaming to Twitch. But make sure you have a home base, because from Discord or Gilded, you can get them to Twitch pretty easily over from there. Make sure you network, as I said, like with someone like One Hit Wonder, a streamer that's so much bigger than me, or even like Robot Giggles. She's an amazing streamer who was a partner on Mixer. They know my name because I'm in their chat every day, and I'm on their TikToks, and I comment and stuff, to the point where I walk into their stream, and they're like, oh, hey, I know that guy. Follow him on TikTok. Follow him on Twitch. I don't do it for that reason, but it's a way to grow building a relationship with other streamers.
Yeah, and when you go into other people's channels and other people's streams, like you go there for them, but also their community is there. Their viewers are there. Talk to the community. Just talk to people in chat. Like, you know, when you see someone message and be like, "Oh, hey, banana waffle, what are you up to? How's your day going?" Because Twitch is a community thing where, like, yes, you're there for the streamer, but you're also there to just chat with people and hang out and have a good time.
Yeah, for sure. And then even if like you don't rate or not, sometimes they'll be like, oh, hey, how'd you find the channel? Like, oh, I saw you on TikTok. Or, oh, I was just scrolling through after my stream and I saw you were on. They're like, oh, it brings up conversation like, oh, hey, what game were you streaming? And you're like, oh, well, I was streaming this new game called Gargaphone, which is a new game we're streaming.
Oh my God, dude, that game is so amazing. We literally died the other night playing that.
I went to bed feeling sick because my stomach was hurting from laughing so much. If you guys don't know what Gargaphone is, it's a great stream community game. Imagine playing the game Telephone where you draw something on the back of someone's back and they have to draw it in the person in front of them and the final person has to figure out the drawing. It's that mixed with Pictionary, and my gosh, oh, we're all just dying laughing.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. But like you can say that and be like, oh, I was playing Gargaphone. They're like, oh, what's that? You can explain the game. Then people in their chat will be like, oh, that seems interesting. And also be yourself in chat, because if people would gel with you really well in their chat, or the streamer gels with you, they're more open to check you out and possibly raid you. And then once you guys get talking and DMs and stuff, maybe do a collab. Things like this where you build relationships and network with other streamers is one of the greatest ways to grow. And it turns Twitch from this competitive, small fish in a big shark pond and dog eat dog world to a really nice community and sharing. And make sure you really talk to your chat when you're streaming too. That's one way to have returnability, is if they feel heard and seen. If they just walk in and say hi, be like, hey, how's it going? How's your day? If they don't reply after that, hey, you've done your due diligence of paying attention to them. You are the content, not the game. Focus on chat more than the game if you can. And I know it gets a little difficult when you have a lot of people in there, but if you miss a thing or two, they'll understand and they'll resend it or something like that. But also just make sure that you are really building that relationship with them, because you're there for them. You are the entertainer. You're not there to show off, hey, I'm pretty good at Apex.
Right, and I can relate to that, because there's been a lot of like Apex games, or even Gargaphone the other night, where I was so intently focused on the game, and then I glanced over my chat and I had a couple messages that I'd missed, and I was like, I don't know when they came in. So I went, oh, I'm so sorry I missed your message. Like, this game is just so funny and so intense that I happen to miss it.
I know that some streamers will, this is a topic, or this is a part that people will disagree on. People will say you don't need a camera to be a good streamer. I personally agree and disagree. To be a good streamer, I mean, look at frickin' Dream, but Dream's not a streamer. He's a YouTuber. Look at Mobo or Mumbo Jumbo. He's not a streamer. He's a YouTuber. Not having a camera is a good thing for YouTube. For Twitch, when it's live action, your brand, the most brandable thing about you is your facial recognition. Having that eye contact, having that smile, having the face expressions when you're saying things. If you can, there's a $60 camera out there. I know it's expensive for a lot of people, but it's so worth it to build that more intimate connection with people, and then they'll want to return more because they, as again, building that connection.
And yeah, and we're not here to say like, oh, in order to be a great streamer, you have to have a camera. No, there are plenty of streamers out there that don't have cameras, and I still go to their channels just to hang out with them because I can hear them.
Yeah.
You don't absolutely have to have a camera. It just makes you more relatable and more recognizable to your viewers in chat.
And it just helps. Like, we're just trying to give information that we know that of things that help. We're not saying that things are mandatory. And plus, if we had everything figured out, if we knew the best stream advice and what works 100% of the time, we would not be medium streamers. We'd be partnered. We'd be billionaires, right? No, we don't have all the answers. This is just our information that we have learned from other streamers who are way ahead of us, and information that we have learned from our own personal experiences.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. And we move on to our next topic, which we kind of touched base on a little bit earlier, which is viewer flux happens to everybody. I don't care if it's your first day streaming or if you're partnered on Twitch with 1.5 billion viewers. Viewer flux happens to everybody. You tend to notice it more when you're a smaller streamer, 5 to 10 viewers, or that kind of area, even up to 20, 25 viewers. You definitely notice it more because you'll be averaging 7, 10, 15 viewers at a time, and then the next week you're down to 2, 3 viewers for a stream, and it's more noticeable once you get return viewers to your channel, where you start noticing like, oh hey, this person's not here, and this person's not here, and this person's not here, and you just notice that viewer flux happens at the lower numbers. Yeah,
for sure. And if we can encourage one thing is, real life is still a part of you, and it happens to everybody. Streamers take breaks all the time, and we encourage you to take breaks. Me and Ronan have taken enough breaks when we're just mentally exhausted. Just care for your health, care for your mental stability, and find a community to build.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, life happens. Life is always happening. Streams are exhausting, or can be exhausting. You absolutely have to take care of yourself first before you get into a stream, or think about start streaming. Or if you've been streaming for a while and you're just drained, take a week break. Take 2 weeks of break. It's fine. You can come back, and your return viewers will probably still be here.
Yeah, and that 2 weeks, work on projects, TikToks, Instagrams, podcasts, even and we just wanted to take a moment to offer our own community. We have a lot of resources over in our Guilded. We have streamers that are on every level. We have streamers who are partnered on Discord, partnered on Guilded. We have several streamers who are partnered on Twitch. We have people who are struggling for one viewer. And we have us in the middle who 5, 10, 15 is normal. We have viewers of all sizes, different places in life, different parts of the country. We even have an on-call tech guy. Daddy Fouts is our nickname for him. He's our editor and our executive producer. Big Daddy Fouts. Executive producer, editor to the show. He's worked overtime and a half to get us where we are. Yeah, so we just want to open up our community to you guys. Just let us know that we are here. Very supportive. We've had 7 people make affiliate. Now, don't come to our community being like, these guys can get me to affiliate. No. If we don't know who you are, we're not just going to be like this random guy. Let's make him affiliate. It's people we've built relationships with, and they're like, hey, dude, I have some sound issues. Can you help me with that? I'm like, yeah. And then we're there, and I'm like, hey, everyone, I'm helping out J-Dog today. Let's go pop over there.
Right. I was going to mention that same thing. We don't just get new viewers and we like, oh, everyone go to him or go to him or her and let's get them to affiliate. No, the reason we get people of our community to affiliate is because we've built relationships with these people. We know who they are. We know what they're about. We know, how much fun and love and support they give to everyone else and give us. And we're just like, okay, this has been a staple in our community. Let's support him or her and let's just help them out and get them to affiliate.
Yeah, because honestly, the most precious thing that we have is not Twitch, it's not TikTok, it's our community we interact with day to day. Because it's so precious to us, we're not just sending them to everybody. We send them to people that we know that they would gel with, that represents a lot what the SBG values are, of just coming together, uplifting, and encouraging. If we have a person in our community who's streaming a lot of just like hate and like, oh, well, I can't make affiliate because of hot tub streamers, we're not going to necessarily want to encourage our stream there because they don't reflect what we want to reflect our community. And our community, I'm biased. It's the greatest community I have ever been a part of.
Yeah, 100%. I too am biased. This community, like I said, I literally knew Luke for probably like a week, and then he was like, let's be partners. And then we were like, okay, I guess we're partners now. So this community really, really took me in almost immediately. Like we just vibed. We just vibed like right out of the gate. And it's the best thing and best community that I could have ever been a part of.
Yeah, and Ronan just took our community, and in my opinion, before Ronan was there, our community was perfect. I didn't know how much better it could be when Ronan got there. And that's how we've been feeling with people who join every single day. We're like, our community is at perfection. We don't need more than 100 people in our community. We're perfect. And then someone like Elena, someone like Mr.Koopla, someone like Anicia pops in, and then we're all of a sudden like, oh my gosh, it got so much better.
Yeah, every person that comes into our community and puts an effort to make a relationship with everyone just makes the community 1,000 times more than what it was and what it can be.
And even with that strong of a community, viewer fluctuation happens. You got to realize It's not always your fault. And some things you can just do to improve. And we're just here to help you grow. We're growing every day. We want you to grow with us.
Yeah, it's life's fault, honestly. Life just gets in the way of what we really want to do, which is stream 24/7.
Of course.
All right, guys, that's going to be it for this week's episode. Be sure to tune in next week where we'll be talking about chat engagement and different ways to engage with chat and like how to deal with lurkers, how to deal with, we might touch on trolls a little bit, viewer games, channel point redemptions, sound commands or sound just clips that happen when they come in. That's all going to be covered in next week's episode.
Yeah, and we're very excited for this. So feel free to come and join us. We're going to be over on where you can find any podcasts. We're using Anchor as our primary, and it's spreading our podcast out to every podcast platform. So be sure to follow us on any of those. Also, if you want, in our description over in our bio, you're going to have Ronan's TikTok. You're going to have Ronan's Twitch. You're going to have my TikTok and my Twitch. You're going to have our Gilded link. And so if you want to be a part of the Small Brain Gang and just really want to have that place of home, we're already here waiting for you, and we can't wait to see you. But that is all the time we have for the Small Brain Gang podcast. And
does that mean sad. I have to start making TikToks again?
Yes. Take our advice, Ronan. You gotta take our advice.
I'm so bad at TikTok.
So am I. It somehow works.
I know, it's weird.
But thank you for listening today. We hope to see you guys in the future. But hey, don't forget, you all are the extra most bestest best of best people we've ever met. This has been Luke Nero with my good buddy Ronan Maverick. Peace and blessings. We're out.
Cheers, everybody. See you next time.